had for the end of the seminar, where we would play this song and have everyone have a candle, and they would be able to really dig deep to find their inner shine. And when they did light that candle, and the entire room light up in my favorite color, which is bombshell blue. And it was just an amazing moment. It was something that I've had so many emails from saying that it helped change their life and helped them to realize their potential. And so while you guys don't have a candle in front of you, I hope that we can end this call with you all realizing that you already have the shine in you. You just have to be willing to let it out and shine with no fear of the darkness around you, because a candle, no matter how dark it's surrounding, it shines brightly. And so I want to get into the call and really share just a little bit about me. For those of you who don't know me, I saw it was a lot of first timers on the call. If you're on this call, you're somewhere in my downline. I started this team back in 2010. It's actually almost my 4-year anniversary. On July 12th, it'll be my 4-year anniversary. And it has been a whirlwind of amazing things, scary things, terrifying things, best moments of my life, biggest struggles of my life in these 4 years. And I wake up every single day, even still to this day. For those of you who follow me, you know I've been staying up until 5 and 6 in the morning this past week, ever since Summit, because I am just fired up. I'm so excited about the future. I'm so excited about the potential that this business has to change people's lives, because I know personally, when you've had it completely transform your life the way it's transformed mine, you have to get up and share this with other people. There is no option to sit back and collect paychecks. There is not an option for that for me. I have to get up and share this with people. I feel an obligation to share it with people. I started this business completely bankrupt. I was 25 years old, and the little girl you might have heard earlier in the background, who's now 5, was born with a brain bleed, and my insurance didn't cover but maybe $50,000 of the $450,000 worth of medical debt that we accrued from her being taken care of. And so at 25 years old, I made a very difficult decision and decided to file bankruptcy and start fresh so that I could one day rebuild a life for my family. But I know the feeling of waking up and fearing what's ahead and not feeling like there is a light at the end of the tunnel. And I know the feeling of being at the grocery store and you're about to pay for stuff with your EBT card and you're not sure if there's enough amount of funds left on there for you to actually pay for what you have on the thing, you know, trying to calculate in your mind what things you're going to take off. So please know that no matter where I am in the business now, I have been very low. And so I do understand where it can start for people, the fact that it can be terrifying that, oh my gosh, if this doesn't work out and I invest money in this business, what if it all falls apart on me? What if it never happens? But what I wanted to talk about today, what we want to focus on is, what if something happens where this is your next calling? This is the thing that is going to completely transform your family's life. Because that's what it was for me. And I want to share as many tips as I possibly can. That's why we're constantly coming up with new training with you guys to help you make that happen, to make it even more possible for you. So in 2011, I was number 3 in the company. 2012, I was number 4. Last year, I was the top coach. And this current year, I'm ranked number 2. I'm a Superstar Diamond 2, which means I have 2 15-star diamond businesses. And I love this team. The culture of this team has been like a vision of mine since day one. I wanted a team that would share information. They would be rivers, not reservoirs. A river is constantly flowing. It never worries about running out of water. It's always sharing. And a reservoir holds water, and it holds everything in, and it keeps it to itself because it's afraid it will run out of water if it wasn't to hold it in. There wouldn't be enough. This team is a river. We share everything. Anything that I'm doing, you guys are going to know about, because I want you to have every possibility of success. So let the river begin. My mind shift that made me a millionaire. I've made over $2 million with Beachbody, and it continues to change my life. But there are some key things that I did to create the possibility of making that happen. Number one, I had to get rid of my self-defeating story. So I had all these things in my mind, and they were my excuses. They were the things that I said, though this is the reason why I'm not successful. Command Shift 4 is screenshot. So getting rid of your self-defeating story. My story was, I have 2 alcoholic parents. I never had anybody pay for my schooling. My family grew up on $20,000. There were 6 of us. We never had opportunities thrown at us. My parents didn't support my dreams. I was always the artsy type. Like, I wanted to be in all kinds of lessons for singing and dancing and ice skating and guitar. And every single time we didn't have the money to continue my lessons. And so I felt like, if it had only been for my family having money, I would have pursued all my dreams, but I can't do it because I had this growing up. And then later on, it was, I bought at the peak of the market and my house was now $100,000 under value. And that was, why I wasn't succeeding or why my life was falling apart. And then it was London being premature and having, these huge loads of medical debt. And that was the reason why I wasn't going to succeed now. And then bankruptcy, filing bankruptcy. Like, of course, it's not fair. That debt just happened to me. Now I'm not going to be able to ever have a house because nobody will finance me because I filed bankruptcy. And then I got in Beachbody, and there was one more chance of having that self-defeating story completely destroy my dreams. And that was, number one, I didn't have any money to put into the business. I had to sell clothing of mine to be able to afford my Shakeology every month. And then I found out I didn't have an upline. So I had signed up over the phones, and they had randomly assigned me. P.S. That means I'm a customer lead. So for those of you who are not Emerald, there's good reason to get to Emerald because you can get customer leads. And yes, some of them might be duds, but you could just inherit someone like me. And someone did. But unfortunately, they're not active in the business. And so I didn't have anybody to train me on how to grow a successful business the way that all of you guys do. So in my mind, initially, I wanted to be like, oh, it's not fair. Everything's happening to me. I'm so mad that I don't have an upline. Like, now what am I going to do? And I guess I could have quit. But I just had this aha moment where it's like, you just keep making these excuses and it's getting you nowhere. Or you can say, I don't care anymore. I'm going to become the kind of coach I wished I would have had. And I'm going to use my story of defeat and of falling on my face many times and of my difficulties growing up to show people that it's possible for them too. And so I did. And no, it was not overnight, and you're going to see in a second, it was not overnight that I was completely successful, but getting rid of the story and deciding to turn the tables on that story and use it to inspire other people is what changed my life. Being the coach I wished I would have attracted. I had to take a little bit of a longer road to get where I am today so that I could shorten the road for other people. So I made a list of the 10 things I wished I would find in a great coach. And I had to be real with myself and say, are you doing those 10 things? Are you that person you're looking for? Because if you're not going to attract that person. You are never going to get a coach that's going to sign up underneath you that is better than you are, more ready than you are. So you've got to first become the kind of coach that you want to attract. Like I said a second ago, make things easier for others than they were on you. Always seek to simplify. I know you guys have great training because your coaches created it and they're amazing. However, do not settle and say, hey, we've got great coaches, so I'm just going to do this training as is, and I'm never going to make any modifications to that training. You are a leader of your very own team. You've got to step up and think, how can I make this even better? How can I even simplify things more than they already are? If you're not constantly finding ways to make things easier on your future coaches, then you're shorting them. This needs to be always evolving. I'm constantly redoing training because I know I've gotten better. How have I gotten better? Personal development, because I have continued to do it. Doesn't matter how high I get on the Beachbody ladder, I know I have a million different ways that I can still be growing. Number 4, speak your truth unapologetically. I had to be real with people. You have to be real with who you are. Uniquely, I am like no one else. No one else has the exact same experience as me. Some people have judged me for my experiences. Some people don't like me. I don't care. Because as long as I know I'm living my truth and I'm sharing that because I want to help people, not because I have selfish reasons, not because I'm trying to, connive my way to the top, but because I really do know that if I share my story unapologetically, it's going to hit people, the people that God is intended for me to hit. And that is living my potential. That's living my truth, and that's living my purpose. Offer value freely and often. So on my Facebook, you will very rarely see me post challenge invites or coach apprentice things that I'm doing. I might only post those a couple times a month. 90% of the time, sometimes 95, I'm posting stuff that adds value. I'm sharing different things that I'm doing. And it might be in different areas, and it could be even non-Beachbody related. I'm sharing things that have made my life easier, products that I love. Doesn't have to be just Shakeology and P90X, guys. It's all kinds of things. You want to be someone who's just constantly recommending things, because then it doesn't look weird that you would recommend this awesome nutrition shake. If I'm recommending hairsprays and makeup and, oh my gosh, did you check out this cute movie? Or here's this great Bible book I found for London, or whatever the case might be. And then I just throw in one of my, oh my gosh, I just tried Pio for the first time and I'm so excited about it. Not weird at all, because they're used to me recommending things. So make sure that your posts are adding value to people's life, that you're not always asking for a sale. You are putting out value, and then every once in a while, offering up a little bit more via a private Facebook group. Get rid of the scarcity mentality. So there are close to 20,000 coaches on the Bombshell Dynasty. And some people might think, oh my gosh, it's going to be like oversaturated pretty soon. Everybody's going to know about Beachbody and everybody's going to be a coach. And there's not going to be anybody for me to talk to. That's just not true, because there are millions of people out there that don't have a single person in their life that believes in them. They don't have a single person in their life that just really wants to get to know about their dreams and then wants to figure out how they can help them get a step closer to them. I know that because I was one of those millions. Nobody had ever asked me what my dreams were. Nobody had ever asked me how they could help me get there. You can be that person for someone, and let me tell you, it makes a huge difference. If you were to go to a restaurant tomorrow night and you were to stand up in the restaurant and say, hi everybody, can you raise your hand if you know what Beachbody is? Maybe one or two people would raise their hand. Especially if you said, do you know what a Beachbody coach is? I had never heard of what a Beachbody coach was. I signed up over the phones thinking it was an affiliate program, didn't even know about the whole network side of things. There are so many people that have never even heard of these things. They may have heard of P90X, but they have no idea about the 50 other programs you guys have. So understand that there is no scarcity. It's only somebody's mentality and focusing on the people that do know about it rather than the people that don't. Beachbody going global is something that takes a lot of time because every country has its own rules and regulations, and they also want to do it in the right way. So you never want to launch widespread and then fall on your face. So they've said that within the next 2 years, they will definitely be going global. But as far as timelines, when that will happen, I don't know yet. But yes, there's a whole other world we still haven't tapped into. Look to others as inspiration, not competition. Compete with yourself. Okay, so this is a big one because there's a lot of you guys, and you might have started at the same time as someone else, and they all of a sudden are like Emerald, and they've got, Success Club 10, and you haven't even got your first Success Club point, and you're like, oh my gosh, I stink at this. Okay, here's the deal, guys. Not everybody starts at the same point. So just because you sign up day one with the same person does not mean you guys started at the same point. That person could have already been through a program and completed it. That person could have been using their social media the correct way even before becoming a coach and has a larger network than you. That person could have awesome sales experience they've been working on for 10 years, and all of a sudden they come into this and it's just natural. You don't know. So comparing yourself to them is not fair. You need to compare yourself with yourself. So if you are making any progress in any area of your life, let's say for the first time ever, you have now done 2 weeks worth of P90X3 and you haven't given up yet. Well, you have gone further than you had before. So you should be proud of yourself and focusing on the wins that you're making in your own business. It might not be Success Club points just yet. You've got to give yourself enough time to work on yourself so that people can follow and trust that you are going to stick with your journey. I think probably if a lot of you thought about it, how long you knew your coach and watched them before you actually signed up, you would give yourself a little more of a break. Scotty Hobbs watched me for 9 months before he decided to become a coach. 9 months. Shay Stanford, one of my top coaches, she watched me for a year before she decided to become a coach. Lindsay Westbrook, another one of my top coaches, she watched me for 2 years before she became a coach. I'm not saying everybody is going to take 9 months, a year, 12 months, don't worry, 2 years, whatever, but you've got to give them at least a month or 2 months or 3 months because they need to see you stick with it before they're ready to jump in with you. Think of it as if someone comes to your door with another networking opportunity, are you just going to jump in blindly? Probably not. You're going to research it and you're going to watch that person for a while. So don't compare yourself with other people. Focus on you and the changes you need to make before you worry about that you're failing. Ask yourself often, how can I make this better? And is this the best use of my time? So every day I sit at my desk and I look at our trainings and I look at what my coaches are doing. I go down my genealogy, graphical, whatever, and I look at what people are doing and how successful my new coaches are. And I think to myself, okay, how can I make this better? I also, throughout my day, ask myself, is this the best use of my time? We all try to manage our time and do the best we can, but we all gravitate towards the things we like the most. AKA, you're scrolling Facebook for 3 hours looking at people's posts. That is not working, and that is spending way too much time on Facebook, not actually progressing your business. So you need to ask yourself at all times, is this best use of my time? Another one, what am I avoiding right now that would help me grow my business? I always avoid some of the most important things, and so I have to be honest with myself and catch myself. I try to make those things my frog, the thing that I eat at the beginning of the day, so I can go do at night the things that I like doing, which is going on Pinterest and looking for inspiration for future posts. I don't have a problem finding posting material. I love going on Pinterest, and I love watching YouTube videos, and I love watching Caleb's videos. I see he's on here. But you guys have to know the things that you avoid. If you avoid inviting people, finding new people on Facebook, if you avoid doing your workout, these are things that you have to be honest with yourself and put those things at the forefront of your day. And most of all, just do unto others as you would have them do to you. When you read your posts, back to yourself, take yourself out of it and think, if I saw this post on my newsfeed, how would it make me feel? Would you post on it? Would you comment on it? Would it make you interested? If someone wrote you a response email and it sounded like a big pitch, you'd probably run away from it. So go outside yourself and view that post as if somebody sent it to you. How can you change it so that they understand you care about what they actually are wanting in their life, that the changes that you're actually wanting to make? I think we think too much into it. And if we just took ourselves out and we read it as if someone sent it to us, we would realize the changes we need to make. Know your niche. Who are you looking to attract into your business? Yay, cat call. This is my niche. So on the bottom, that was me with London. On the top is a friend of mine, Elaine. Now, Elaine is not a coach, but she is my ideal customer. Just sort of a 25 to 30-year-old or 35-year-old female, married or in a serious relationship, young children. She wants to make a difference but doesn't know how. She wants to grow closer to God. She loves fashion and beauty tips, doesn't want to work for the man. She's independent or wants to be. thought she'd be further along in life than she actually is. Why is that my niche? Because that is who I used to be, or that is who sort of I am. And I can speak to that person because it's who I am. It's easy to come up with content for me because I know what I like and I know what I'm interested in and I know the areas I want to grow. And so all I do is I take all my personal development that I do and I just share it freely with people. And naturally, people like Elaine are attracted into my network because she likes the same things I do. And so it's no coincidence that when I get and start a new coach group that I ask them what their 5 things are that they're going to focus on social media, and most of them are pretty much the same as mine. That's not a coincidence. That's because like attracts like, and I was focusing on talking to the people who were like me. Now, that's not to say that I don't ever attract guys. Look at the 2 most amazing guys on this team, Miguel and Scotty. They're incredible, and they were attracted into my life. Thank goodness. But you can't talk to everyone. The more broad you are, the less people you're going to be attracting because they can't really connect to you. So you've got to focus and know who you're talking to. And when you're building content, every time I'm speaking to people like Elaine, people like who I used to be. I spend about 20% of my time on my 5 things I just mentioned a second ago. These are the 5 things that I focus on in my Facebook. If you were to come to my little Facebook reality show, this is what you're probably going to see. Number 1, my family. So I could share tips about this, cute little kitchen that somebody made out of an old entertainment center. I might share something cute that my daughter did. I might share a great sweet thing that my husband did or a project we're working on in our family. Something to do with our lives as the 3 of us right now. My faith. That's a big one for me. And honestly, the faith thing scares people because I think that they feel like they can't be real with that because they don't want to narrow their network, right? I almost lose a couple people every time I do a faith post. But I also gain 10 plus followers every single time. And that's because those people really connect to me. The other people are weeded out, and we probably wouldn't work well together anyway if they're that offended by a post like that. So I'm not worried about making everyone like me. I'm focusing on, like I said before, living my truth authentically. Sharing the things that have helped me change my life. Beachbody. Obviously, I share about Beachbody and because it's changed my life, but it's not always the same story. It might be something about how I love being in my pajamas all day long. It might be something about the freedom to work that I could literally be in Tahiti right now doing this call and it would still be the same as for you guys. It could be some kind of financial freedom that Beachbody's allowed me. It could be a story. Just a second ago, I shared a fitness transformation for somebody. It could be a story about one of my coaches succeeding. That is the way that I share Beachbody. Fitness. It might be pictures of me. It might be pictures from my challengers. It might be something about my challenges, something that I'm excited about, an event I'm pushing for. That's my fitness post. And then fashion and beauty obviously has nothing to do with Beachbody, but it's totally everything to do with me. And so I share products that I use, I share different looks that I have, or dresses that I find, or if I see a cute thing on Pinterest, I might share it. All of my content pretty much is packed into these 5 things. And so people know what to expect when they go to my page. And lo and behold, like the last slide suggests, people in my niche market tend to be attracted to that page and eventually reach out to me. Coming up with content. So I do 2 little things that I absolutely love. Number 1, I follow some of the most amazing people on the planet. One of them being Joel Osteen, others being our coaches. You guys inspire me. You guys come up with great content, things that I never even thought of. And so I follow my mentors on Facebook. And as they post things that give me aha moments, or they give me chills, or they make me feel something, or they really attract my eye, I save those into a little folder on my desktop called simply post ideas. And then on the days that I feel completely uninspired and just like, gosh, I don't feel like I can come up with anything today, I go to that little post idea folder, and all of a sudden I'm like, oh yeah. And no, I do not copy and paste these posts as my own. I take them and use them as inspiration to create something that is uniquely me. Because it's not going to work the same for me as it did for someone else. I have to make it my own. Another thing I do is Pinterest. And I have to set a timer because I will stay on that thing for like 5 hours straight and not have any issues. But I have different folders for different things. So it might be my life in 5 to 10 years with different goals that I have. It might be organizational ideas. It might be makeup ideas, fashion ideas, motivation, home ideas, London's favorite things. Back when I was planning a wedding, I had a wedding folder. I have hair ideas. And I can take from that folder, any of those folders, whatever I want to post about, ideas and share them on my Facebook. If I liked them, if they caught my eye, most likely they're going to attract my niche market's eye. So think about, what does your ideal customer look for? Anytime you have an aha moment, share it or put it in your little folder for future shares. Okay, this is my challenge to you. Focus on being more interested than you are interesting. We are all by nature selfish. We like talking about us. We like people being focused on us, what we're interested in, what we have to sell, what we're doing. Switch it. If you want people to be interested in you, be interested in them first. If you're selfish and wanted people to focus on you, your friend's selfish too, and they want you to focus on them. So give them what they want. Focus on them. Get to know them. Comment on your friend's post with the kind of comments that you like to receive. So I don't know about you guys, but I much prefer getting a comment over a like. In fact, I almost never check who likes my photo. I do, however, check who comments on it, especially if they leave a comment that stands out from the rest. So make sure that you're giving the kind of comments that you like to receive. If there's someone in your niche market that you think would be an amazing coach, don't message them and say, hey, I have this great opportunity I want to tell you about. Let's get on the phone and I'll tell you about Beachbody, this cool thing. No. Focus on them. Focus on what they're doing. Focus on what they're posting about. And I promise you, they'll venture over to your little Facebook reality show and they will see what you're doing. And if they're interested, they'll reach out to you. The more you focus on others, though, I promise you, the more people are going to focus on you. Number 2, find your 5 things and build your mini reality show. If you guys are inviting people to join your network, but you don't have a definitive enough Facebook to where people know who you are, they can get an idea of who you are and what you're about. It's not just you and your dog or you and your baby or, you and whatever you post about right now. Or you and Beachbody, that's a big one. So a lot of the new coaches, big problem. I know you guys are excited about Beachbody, but don't make all your posts about Beachbody. If you want to scare people away, that's what you do. But it needs to be just 20% of what you're posting about. You want to share with others who you are so that they can decide, I like this person, not really my style, or no way, I don't want to be part of this person's life. Either way, totally fine, but you want them to be able to make a decision. I promise you, though, more people are going to like you, the more stuff you're sharing and the more value you're adding. So that leads me to the second point, post to add value, not to sell or recruit. Number 3, lead with how you can better their life rather than how they can better yours. So finding out what people's thing that is keeping them up at night is really important. Finding out what dreams they have is really important. Finding out how they can get you to diamond, not so important. If you're focused on others, you're naturally going to get there. People are naturally going to join your business because they will want to be a part of your life because you make them feel special. You make them come alive. You make them think about the bigger things that they haven't thought about in a long time because they had decided it probably just wasn't going to happen for them. Treat others the way that you would want to be treated, period. All right, let's get real here. Take out a sheet of paper and quickly we are going to go through some questions. Number 1, what's the activity that I avoid in my business? Number 2, what is the one area I waste too much time? Number 3, what is one excuse that's holding me back right now? Number 4, what is my main motivation to keep pursuing success as a coach? Number 5, I know if I did this more, I would be further along. In the last 60 days, I have made blank progress in my fitness goals. Number 7, I'm on top of my personal development blank % of the time. The truth is, answering these questions should help you get a clear picture on where you can improve. And we can all improve. I will be 100% honest. There are areas from these questions that I can improve as a coach. So don't beat yourself up over it. Just know what you need to change and take some action. All right. Show me the money. I know it's not all about money. I know it's about helping people. But I also know that when I started this journey, I was in serious debt, and I needed to help provide for my family, not so that we could drive around in fancy cars, but so that we could pay our electric bill, so that we could pay for groceries, so that we could keep our house for a month longer. And that is why I share these income slides. I went back for the seminar and I found these commission totals, and I was honestly shocked because I didn't remember it taking so long for me to get going. I guess I was in this like weird fog of just complete focus and knowing that my back was against the wall that I didn't realize how long it took me to get going. So going back and looking and knowing that 5 months in, I was not working 10 hours a week 5 months in. I was working 100 hours a week. Now, we have coaches that have completely beat my records by far as getting going. I've had coaches hit $500, a week in the month too if they've really pushed for it. But this was me. And this was me not having any support, and this was me trying to figure things out on my own. But I knew where I was going. And I was hell-bent on getting there. There was nothing that was going to stop me. And every single week that I stayed in Beachbody, it meant that I was making sacrifices at home and selling things at home. And my husband like we talked about this last week on our last week call for spouses, he was not always supportive. It would have been easier for me just to go back to the bar business and start working a few shifts a week alongside Beachbody. But I knew I could not get to where I am today being in the bar business because it would jade my mindset. Being surrounded by negativity would just mess me up. So I just kept asking month by month, 1 more month, please. Let me keep focused. Let me just keep going. I'm going to do this. And I did. And by the time I hit month 8, I had finally matched my bar business month or weekly income. It was $641. My bar income was about $600 a week. Now, everything started to change after month 8. And that's because I finally started to learn how to lead. Everything about this business is based on duplication. It's great if you're great at sales. It's great if you can sign up coaches. But what you really need is people to see the bigger vision and to go for it too. You have to be able to inspire them and lead them to be able to duplicate what you have now done. So what I want you to notice in the next slide, when I show the progressive income for the next year and a half, is that the retail commission doesn't really change. You don't have to be this big fancy schmancy salesperson. I still to this day don't sell all that much. So, the next slide. 1 year in, I was making $902. 18 months in, $1,869 a week. 2 years in, $3,339 a week. 2.5 years in, $6,488 a week. But notice the commission. It's all team bonuses. It's all my team succeeding. It's all duplication. And it goes and goes and goes from there. It did not slow down in duplicating itself or going up from basically doubling every 6 months. It's continued to do that. And like I said, I'm on year 4. Your team is everything. It's not about signing up a bunch of coaches. You could sign up 100 coaches tomorrow and your income wouldn't really change all that much. What you need to be able to do is duplicate. You've got to be able to help others get past that first 6 months. That is a struggle, and see the bigger vision of where this can take them. And if you do that, and you help them, and you simplify things, and you continue to drive forward yourself, being a product of the product, inviting consistently, and doing personal development, you will be able to do that. But it takes consistency. You're not going to get there in 3 months. I can promise you, this is not a get rich quick scheme. But I can also promise you, there are doctors that go to school, my best friend being one of them, for 8 years that come out $250,000 in debt that don't make what I make at 2.5 years. You have incredible opportunity with this. Unbelievable opportunity with this. It's limitless. A $40 business made me a millionaire. There's not too many other businesses out there that can do that. But you've got to stick with it, and you've got to be consistent, and you've got to be so focused that you don't let the little trip-ups and the little things that maybe go wrong stop you from knowing where you're going and being determined to get there. So let me ask you this. How is your posture as a coach? Are you a cheerleader or are you a coach? Because a cheerleader sits on the sidelines and they scream for you and they're so excited for you and they shake their pom-pom, they do dances, whatever they gotta do. But at the end of the day, they don't determine the outcome. They just cheer. And even the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders, the top cheerleaders in the entire NFL, they don't make that much. They get a couple of free game tickets, and then they do a couple calendar shoots for the year, and they don't make much money at all. Lots of fame and notoriety about it, not much money. But the coach determines the game. They know the game better than anyone else. They can predict exactly what's going to happen with that person. They know their strengths, they know their weaknesses, and they don't keep it to themselves. They share it with that person to help make them better. If there's a great quarterback, he finds a great coach, and the coach helps him become a stronger quarterback, and that's how the game is won. A coach sets clear expectations and lays out a game plan for his team. You guys, if you want to have this business be a success for you, you've got to become a coach. You've got to become a coach in both your challenges and to your team. How do you do that? You start as a great player. Most coaches start as players. Or you study the crap out of the game. So you guys need to get on the field and make sure you're not on the sidelines watching everybody else, cheering along, being a part of the sorority bombshell dynasty, but not actually in it, driving things, making things happen, and making people better for having known you. I know this because I have been a cheerleader in the past. There was times I wanted everybody to like me, so I was so deathly afraid of giving them any constructive criticism that I just cheered them on, knowing that I had the answers of things I could do to help them, knowing the annoying things that they did that I could point out and help them overcome them. I'm not saying be rude to people, because I'm definitely not known for that, I hope, but just giving them suggestions or asking them questions like the ones I asked you a few minutes ago, asking your team them and helping them discover how they can improve. Being real with yourself on how you can improve and making those improvements. A coach leads by example. Introverts. Any of you guys introverted? You're scared that, like, oh my gosh, I really don't love getting out there and talking to people. If I had to go to a grocery store right now and talk to somebody about Beachbody, I would just die. Me too. I am a total introvert. Somebody asked me today, they're like, Lindsay, can you give me suggestions on business cards? Okay, I don't have business cards. Why? Because I don't tell anybody about my business that I meet in person. Because I don't like talking to people in person. No, I'm not so introverted that I'm afraid to talk to people, but I would never go up to someone and talk about the Beachbody business. It's just not me. It's not who I am. Great news. There's something called social media, and you can be an introvert and rock it. These people, these 10 people I have on here, they're some of the top coaches in all of Beachbody. We've got myself, Janelle Summers, who's Shalene Johnson's sister. She has been with me in the top 10 for 4 years straight. Total introvert. Scotty Hobbs and his sexy Shakeology tie is also an introvert that you can't tell from this picture. Total introvert. Lauren Duke, she was in the top 10 this past year, introvert. Nikki Minton, introvert. Melanie Mitro, the current #1 coach, introvert. Katie Hefner, introvert. Brittany Leggett, introvert. Meg Wazinski, introvert. Miguel, when you see Miguel speak on stage, you would never know this, but he's an introvert. The great thing about introverts, and the reason why they've been successful in this business, is number one, we're good listeners. Why? Because we don't want to be the center of attention, so it's easy for us to focus on other people. I like other people talking, and me not so much. Number two, we focus on building trust. So introverts are naturally a little bit untrusting. We just worry about people a little bit. So we naturally go above and beyond to earn people's trust. I really go above and beyond to earn people's trust. I need them to know that I'm not going to jerk you over because I'm so scared of having that happening to me. Number three, we love conversations that are deep. So I die every time someone asks me or starts complaining about the weather. A little bit of me inside dies. Because I just can't stand small talk. Now, if you want to talk to me about your horrible childhood, I am all in. I love your talking about your childhood, but I can't stand deep conversations. Well, this business is all about deep conversations. It's awesome for introverts. We love to put the focus on others, and that's what this is all about. You have to make this about other people and their goals. And when you do, amazing things happen. Now, that's not to say extroverts that you're not going to rock this business, because there are plenty of extroverts, but I know the introverts worry about that. Extroverts are easy at starting conversations and talking to many people as they want, and they're out there and they make these amazing videos and they're just captivating to watch. So by no means, extroverts on the call, am I saying that you can't. It's just I get a lot of emails from people that are introverts and feel like they can't. Duplication, the key to success. There's a little thing called KISS. Keep it super simple. I could, at this point, go get a $10,000 website made for my business. I could get something super fancy. I could hire someone to do search engine optimization, and I could make all these fancy schmancy things, but I don't. Why? Because it's not duplicatable. Because I can't have someone look at my business, my website, and think, well, it's no wonder she's successful. Look at the website. I can't do something like that. I can't afford it. Okay, my website cost me $35. It was a template from Etsy. And if you go on it, it's absolutely pathetic. I'm not a blogger, and I don't have anything that makes me want to make a website other than just a basic thing that I throw my Facebook posts up on sometimes. But it's duplicatable. It's easy. My Facebook, I can teach you everything that I post. If you go on YouTube, you can learn how to use PicMonkey. If you go on YouTube, you can learn how to make a YouTube video. You know, everything that I do is simple. The reason why we have a system set up the way it is because it's duplicatable. We have people that start off as a challenger. They get some results. I say, oh my gosh. When they post about it on their Facebook, I say, oh my gosh, you realize you're basically doing what I do, but you're not getting paid for it, right? And they say, well, what do you mean? And I let them know, well, that's all I do as a coach. If you go on my Facebook, all I do is share about my life and share about my success with Beachbody and what the programs have done for me, but I get paid for it. That person all of a sudden becomes a coach, and they're an apprentice coach. I have them join my next challenge, and they get to invite a couple people to join with them. So they put out a post that says something like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited I got chosen to be Lindsay Matway's next, or an apprentice in Lindsay Matway's next bombshell challenge, the same challenge that helped me lose 10 pounds in 21 days using 21 Day Fix. If you'd be interested in the details, I'm going to let just like 2 people to join with me, like or comment this post. Now that person has those people join the challenge, and let's say 2 of them decide to become coaches. That person is now an Emerald. And then I'm going to help put that person into my Emerald Diamond training. And they're going to learn the basics of talking to people about coaching and how to duplicate that. And eventually they'll become a leader of a team. And when they become a leader of a team, we're going to work on getting them to a solid diamond, and eventually they'll be diamond. And they will do the exact same process with their team. They'll tell their first 2 coaches to find a few people to join with them in their next challenge. And they'll be running their own challenge at this point. Everything has to be duplicatable. If it's not, then it's just going to be you doing something that might work for you, but it won't work for your team. And it actually might end up hurting you because those people are going to look at it and think like, oh my gosh, I can't do that. So just keep that in mind as you're trying new things. I know it's tempting to want to go try different things for a quick success. And there are certain things that I do that no one else can do. But I don't ever focus on those things. They're never my bread and butter. I still want to make sure I'm doing the things that keep it super simple so that I can duplicate with my team. Where I spend my time, we're almost done. 5 different areas: new coach training, personal development, leadership development, my fitness journey, and content creation. New coach training. 20-minute new coach calls, creating call hours. I have different hours that I can only do calls when my daughter's at school. So I set those up. There's a thing called Acuity Scheduler or scheduling, acuityscheduling.com. You can actually create calls or times for your people to sign up for calls. It's amazing. I constantly reevaluate my approach. I use surveymonkey.com to get honest feedback from my challengers or from my new coaches to help me come up with ideas on ways that I can change it to make it simpler. And then I simplify wherever possible. Personal development. I listen to the National Wake Up Call. I get on these team calls. I read books. I focus on increasing my strengths. I go and find YouTube videos for inspiration. I study other great leaders, and I sharpen my knowledge base by listening to those things. Leadership development. I do 20-minute leadership calls with my leaders, and create, again, call hours. We create goals and milestones together. We do Zoom calls or conference calls and create team camaraderie. We focus on duplication. We help them discover their holdbacks and overcome obstacles. Content creation. I follow and study what other successful coaches are posting. I define my brand in my niche market. I search for content that adds value to people's lives. I create a folder to keep post ideas. I post a variety of topics to keep things fresh. And of course, my fitness journey. I have to be a product of the product, and I have to live a lifestyle that exemplifies the message that I'm trying to send people. At the end of the day, you have to make a decision that you were made for more, that there is a seed of greatness within you that was planted in there since birth, and that you were made to do something more than average. And you can sit back and you can kind of dull your light for the people around you so that no one gets offended, so that no one says anything bad about you, so that everybody likes you. But this is about making a difference in the world. This is about living your best life. It's about wringing out all the freaking potential that's inside of you. And if you've ever felt like someday, some way, I'm going to do something great with my life, and it just hasn't happened yet, I want you to think if maybe this is it. And you don't have to understand all this, because I see comments below, but I'm not going to address them all. You can see comments below, people doubting themselves, and people thinking this is totally overwhelming, or I don't know where to start. You don't have to know it all. I didn't know any of this, and I didn't have anybody to do a team call that showed me any of this stuff. You just have to start working on yourself. Every day when you get up, the fact that you decide to press play, or the fact that you decide to drink your Shakeology, the fact that you decide to sit on your toilet and read your personal development, I don't care. The fact that you just make a decision to better yourself, to put one foot in front of the other and walk a step closer to being who you want to be in your life is good enough. All I'm asking is that you take a step in faith. You don't know exactly where you're going, but you're just going somewhere, and you're not going to sit around and accept status quo for life anymore. You'll figure it out as you go, I promise you. The more you guys focus on just knowing all the answers, the more your business is not going to go anywhere. You're going to learn as you go, and there's going to be times where you fall flat on your face. You say something stupid to someone. You're going to feel like you are not moving. If I was to look back at that income and judge my business by my income back then, I would have felt like I was going nowhere. But I kept focused, I kept one foot in front of the other, and I kept walking. I kept making changes. I kept asking myself, how can I do this better? How can I make this easier? How can I simplify this? How can I learn more? And little by little, everything changed. And you saw on that second slide, all that momentum, all that change in my income was the investment that I made in the beginning. It was staying focused in the beginning that got me there. What if I would have given up? What if on month 5, when I was making $200 a week, after all those hours, I would have just decided, you know what, it's just not working. You would not be here. Melanie Mitchell would not be here. There would be no Bombshell Dynasty. There would be no 20,000 coaches. I'm not saying that I'm something special. I'm saying you're something special. And you've got to make a decision not to give up, because you were made for more, and the ripple effect that you can positively make is going to change so many lives, it'll blow your mind. So, what I'd like to do is take a second and listen to this song. This is the same song that I played at my seminar. And I want you to think about if you're ready to turn on your light and really shine. Shine the way that you were created to shine and make a difference in people's lives. So, here it goes.
Lately I don't recognize you. The fire in your eyes is fading into embers. So while you're out there in the darkness, and praying you'll remember you were made to shine, you were made for life. Even if you've lost your way, drowning you will hear love say, you were made for more, so much more. Child of everlasting light, made to blaze away the night. So baby, burn bright, burn bright. You can rise up from the ashes, make something beautiful of all the broken pieces. And I believe in you'll come around it into the arms of Jesus. You were made to shine, you were made for life. Even if you've lost your way, turn and you will hear love say, you were made for more, so much more. Child of everlasting light, made to blaze away the night. So baby, burn bright, burn bright. There will always be somebody in the dark, ready to rain down on your last spark, trying to blow up your flame again. They will do it if you let them. Oh, so don't you let them. You were made to shine, you were made for life. Even if you lost your way, turn and you will hear love say, you were made for more, so much more. Child of everlasting light, made to blaze away the night. So baby, burn bright, burn bright, oh, burn bright, oh, burn bright. I believe in you'll come running into the arms of Jesus.
So don't believe that a few people can't change the world, for that's all who ever have. Real quick, I want to read you a little quote from Marianne Williamson. And I remember reading this in my first year of college, and it hit me like a ton of bricks that I had been dimming my shine, and it made me realize no more. It says, our deepest fear is not that we're inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You're a child of God. Your playing small does not serve the world. There is nothing enlightening about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We are all meant to shine as children do. We were born to make manifest the glory of God that's within us. It's not just in some of us, it's in everyone. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. You guys have so much to give. So get out there and shine. I appreciate y'all being on, and I can't wait to see what you make happen.